Welcome students. We'll start with a small introduction to physics. Physics is an exact science which gives us an accurate knowledge about the nature and the natural phenomenon. It expresses various natural phenomena in terms of relationship between the quantities involved. The exactness or the accuracy of these relationships depend upon the measurements we make. The accuracy of the measurements in turn depends on the accuracy of the measuring instruments and techniques. The recent progress in science and technology has been possible only due to the development of high precision instruments. One can measure as small as that of an electron and as large as that of universe. So all of these measurements are to measure your physical quantities. So what are your physical quantities? Your physical quantities can be classified into fundamental quantity and derived quantity. So fundamental quantities are the most fundamental quantities. Okay, they are your basic units, whereas your derived quantities, they are dependent quantities or your derived units, which depends on your fundamental quantity, or let us say fundamental units. So let's classify some fundamental units which we know. So let us classify our various physical quantities into 7 basic types of fundamental units. So let's start with first one, which is your length. So the first physical quantity is your length. The length has a basic unit meter and its symbol is represented with small m. Next is your mass. The mass has a basic unit kilogram and its symbol is kg. The next physical quantity is your time. The basic unit is second and its symbol is S. The next physical quantity is temperature. Its basic unit is Kelvin and symbol is capital K. The next physical quantity is your electric current. It has a basic unit ampere and its symbol is capital A. The next one is your luminous intensity. Luminous intensity, by intensity I mean how much bright or dark is the light coming out of this bulb. This is your intensity. So intensity is also a physical quantity. Its basic unit is candela and its symbol is CD. The next one is your quantity of matter. So the basic quantity of matter are your atoms and molecules, and we generally measure your atoms and molecules in mole. The symbol is MOL. So what are your units? Your units are your system. Okay, these are your system to measure your basic fundamental quantities like your length, your mass, your time, temperature, current, intensity and quantity of matter. All these fundamental quantities are measured by your units. These are the units and these are the symbol of the units. Now your units can be further classified into CGS system, MKS system and FPS system. So whenever we'll use your units like centimeter, your gram and second, all such units will fall under your CGS system. And if we use meter, kilogram, seconds to categorize our 7 fundamental units, then we'll call it as MKS system. And if we use foot, pound, second to measure our 7 fundamental units, then it will fall under your FPS system. Now, since we have various kinds of system, therefore in order to avoid confusion and restrict ourselves to one type of system of units which can be used throughout the physics, therefore we come up with SI unit. Now this SI unit is modern and extended form of your metric systems. Okay. This SI unit was adopted by your 11th General Conference of Weight and Measurements in 1960. It is the international standard units. So in physics, usually we make all the units in terms of MKS system. So we classify this MKS system as your SI units. So this is the standard set of units which will be used throughout the physics all across the world. Fine. So whenever we need to measure a length, we will use meter. Whenever we want to measure your mass, we'll use kilogram. And whenever we want to measure time, we'll use seconds. So these are your set of SI units. Fine. So that's it for today's class. Thank you. And in our next class, we'll solve some examples on the base of this units. Fine. So that's it for today's class. Thank you. And if you have any confusion, please don't hesitate to ask. I will re-explain it to you again. So again, thank you.